The Pandavas also heard about Karna's vow. Bhima and Arjuna sneered, but Yudhishthira was alarmed. Thinking of Karna's impenetrable natural armor, Yudhishthira knew that Karna could not be slain. Yudhishthira brooded on the situation. He himself had brought on all their hardship and danger, and out of devotion for him, his brothers now accepted miseries they did not deserve. Soon they would face great danger in the battle with the Kuru heroes, who would be assisted by Karna and the other powerful warriors. Yudhishthira fell into anxiety day and night, remembering the gambling match and the harsh words of Karna and Duryodhana. Yudhishthira felt as if his heart had been pierced by a lance. His brothers and Draupadi, seeing his condition, also felt pain. Enraged at the Kauravas, they longed for the time when they could at least confront them in battle. Each day, the brothers practiced rigorous physical exercises, keeping themselves fit for fighting as well as giving vent to their wrath. In the final months of their stay in the forest, Vyasadeva again came to see the Pandavas. Yudhishthira worshipped him with devotion and then sat before him to hear his words. Seeing the Pandavas lean and anxious, Vyasadeva was moved to compassion, and in a voice choked with tears, he spoke. O foremost of men, no man can ever experience unmixed happiness. Everyone experiences happiness and distress in due course of time. The wise man, therefore, becomes neither joyful nor grief-stricken. The wise man does not indulge in happiness or give way to sorrow when each arrive. Rather, the wise man practices asceticism to attain the eternal happiness born of spiritual realization. From asceticism comes the greatest happiness, not from improving our material circumstances. Foolish persons, seeking material enjoyment by any means, obtain births as beasts in their next lives. They can never enjoy happiness. O king, your practice of asceticism, although difficult, will lead to your ultimate welfare. After describing the many qualities a man would develop from asceticism, namely truthfulness, freedom from anger, self-control, nonviolence, Vyasadeva went on to speak about charity, which Yudhishthira always practiced when he had wealth. When Vyasadeva fell silent, Yudhishthira asked him, O great Rishi, which is better, asceticism or charity? Which produces a better result, and which is more difficult to practice? O my child, there is nothing more difficult to practice than charity. Men thirst for wealth and obtain it only after great effort. Risking their lives, they entered the depths of the sea and the forest in their search for wealth. There is nothing they will not do to become rich. Therefore, it is extremely difficult to part with hard-earned wealth. But, O hero, properly earned wealth should be given away with an open heart to worthy persons. Ill-gotten wealth, however, even if given away, will not free its owner from degradation in the next life. Yudhishthira then asked Vyasadeva to speak more about the benefits of giving charity, and the sage told him an old history. There had been once a poor man named Mudgala who had attained the supreme spiritual abode simply by his practice of giving charity to Brahmanas. The Pandavas were fascinated. Finally, the Vyasadeva said, "O son of Kunti, do not grieve. Happiness and distress revolve around a man, one after the other, as if on a wheel. Surely you will recover your father's kingdom at the end of your exile, and by your asceticism and charity, you will attain all auspiciousness. Now, be at peace, for I am going." The Pandavas offered their obeisances as Rishi Vyasadeva rose to leave, and so they felt comforted by his words. Duryodhana thought continuously of ways by which he might harm the Pandavas. He consulted with his brothers and Karna, trying to devise a means to overcome the Pandavas before they returned from the forest. While he was considering different plans, the great ascetic Durvasa happened to visit the city. He had with him 10,000 disciples, and he came to the royal palace asking for food for all of them. The sage was famous for his anger, and if he were not served properly, he would quickly curse the offender. He would also test his hosts to the limits of their patience, wanting to see if they adhered to their religious obligations under all circumstances. Fearing that his curse would be brought upon them by some incompetent servant, Duryodhana served Durvasa personally. With all the humility and gentleness he could muster, Duryodhana carefully ministered to the sage's every request, acting just like a menial servant. Of course, Durvasa was unpredictable. Sometimes he would demand that a meal be prepared immediately, but when it was fetched, he would go away to bathe. He would then return after a long time and say, "Oh, I will not eat now. I am no longer hungry." He would rise at midnight and call for food and other attentions, often criticizing the food and service he received. Duryodhana served him without complaint and remained ever attentive to the rishi's every wish. Durvasa was pleased with the prince, and just before leaving, Durvasa said, "You have served me well. I will grant you a boon. Now, ask from me whatever you desire. If it is not opposed to religion, I will satisfy you at once." Duryodhana felt as if he had received new life. He had already conferred with his counselors as to what boon he should request if Durvasa should ask him. Thus, Duryodhana replied, "O Brahmana Durvasa, just as you have been my guest, so you should also become the guest of Yudhishthir, who is now in the forest. He is accomplished and well-behaved. He is a great king, the best and eldest of our family. He therefore deserves to receive your blessings. You should go to him when his entire family has finished eating and are just preparing to rest. You will then be well received by those most pious men." "O king, I will do as you ask. Durvasa then left with his disciples, heading for Kamyaka forest. Duryodhana punched the air in joy. The Pandavas would never be able to receive Durvasa and his many disciples properly after Draupadi had eaten, and they would have no way to feed 10,000 brahmanas without the magic plate they had received from Suryadeva. Surely they would be cursed by Durvasa, and a rishi's curse could never fail. Duryodhana then ran to his friends. "Oh, our plan has succeeded. The Pandavas are doomed." Duryodhana then embraced Karna, who replied, "By good fortune, you have fared well and have fulfilled your desire. By good fortune, your enemies are now cast into an ocean of misery, which is difficult to cross. Through their own fault, they now face great danger." Laughing and clasping each other's hands, Duryodhana and his counselors rejoiced. Some days later, Durvasa arrived at the Pandavas' camp just after Draupadi had eaten. Leaving his disciples on the outskirts of the camp, Durvasa walked in alone and appeared before the brothers. Immediately, they all stood up with joined palms. Seeing the famous rishi standing before them, they fell to the ground in respectful obeisance. Yudhishthir offered Durvasa an excellent seat and worshipped him with all attention. Durvasa then said, "I am here with my 10,000 disciples, and we need to eat. We have been walking all day and are hungry. O king, please arrange for our food. We shall first take our bath and then return for the meal." "O Durvasa, tatastu, so be it." So Durvasa left for the river with his disciples. After he had gone, Yudhishthir expressed his alarm. How could he possibly feed so many people? Draupadi had already eaten, and the mystical plate would not yield any more until morning. So Yudhishthir asked his wife if she could do anything. Draupadi, who always thought of her husband's welfare, began to contemplate the problem. Her only hope was prayer. So the princess thought of Krishna and prayed, "O Krishna, Lord of the universe, O destroyer of the difficulties of your devotees, O unlimited and all-powerful one, please hear my prayer. For you are the refuge of the helpless. You are the giver of endless boons to all kinds of living beings. You are the unknowable and all-knowing Supreme Person. Kindly protect me. I seek your shelter. O Lord, as you formerly saved me from Dushashan in that vicious assembly, so please save me now from this difficulty." At that time, Krishna was in his palace, lying on his bed with Rukmini. That most mysterious person, whose movements are unknown to all, heard Draupadi's prayers. Immediately he rose from his bed, and leaving his wife Rukmini, ran from the palace. And within a few moments, Krishna was standing before Draupadi, who fell at his feet with tears in her eyes. "O Krishna, we face a great danger from Durvasa Muni's curse. What can be done now? Yes, I will do whatever can be done, but I too am hungry, so please feed me first, and after that I shall do whatever is required. My lord, I am so ashamed. The vessel given to us by the sun god remains full until I have eaten. But recently I took my meal, and now it will not give any more food. My dear Draupadi, this is no time for joking. Quickly fetch the vessel and show it to me. Draupadi brought the dish before Krishna, and he examined it closely. In one corner, Krishna found a particle of rice and vegetable stuck together, and so he ate it at once and then said, "May Lord Hari, the soul of the universe, be satisfied with this food, and may the Lord of all sacrifices be pleased. Now, Sahadev, quickly go and bring the ascetics here, and then feed them." The Pandavas looked around fearfully. There was no sign of any food, but they had faith that Krishna would not let them down. Sahadev left for the river to find Durvasa and his disciples. At the river, the innocent Durvasa was expecting Yudhishthir to have prepared a meal for him and all of his followers. But suddenly, Durvasa felt as if he had actually consumed a large meal. He looked at his disciples, and they too appeared full and were rubbing their stomachs and belching. Looking at each other, the ascetics realized that none of them felt like eating at all. So Durvasa then said to his disciples, "Oh, we have uselessly made Yudhishthir prepare a meal for 10,000 men, and so we have done him a great wrong. Will not the Pandavas destroy us by looking upon us with angry eyes? O Brahmanas, I know for a fact Yudhishthir is possessed of great powers. He is devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Hari, and I very much fear such men. Why, they can consume us with their anger, as fire can consume a bale of cotton. Therefore, let us now depart quickly from this place before they see us again." Although he was a powerful mystic yogi, Durvasa knew that his power was nothing compared to that of those devoted to the Supreme Lord. He recalled a previous incident when Durvasa had upset another devotee of the Lord, and at that time he had been placed in great difficulty and had almost lost his life. So, without another word, Durvasa came out of the river and walked swiftly away from the Pandavas' camp. His disciples fled away in all directions, keeping well clear of the Pandavas. So when Sahadev arrived at the river, he found no one there. A few water pots and pieces of cloth were lying around, but there was no sign of the ascetics. He searched around and came across other Brahmanas who informed him that Durvasa and his followers had suddenly left. Sahadev went back to his brothers and gave them his report. Yudhishthir was now worried, and he spoke. "Oh, I am very fearful. The ascetics will come back in the dead of night and demand their meal. How will we be able to escape from this great danger created by destiny?" Krishna smiled. "Oh, Yudhishthir, you need not fear. Durvasa and his disciples have fled, afraid of your ascetic power. Those who are always virtuous need never fear danger. With your permission, I shall now return to my home. Oh, Krishna, as persons drowning in a vast ocean are saved by a boat, so we too have been saved by you. Be pleased to go now as you desire. Krishna left, and the Pandavas surrounded their chaste wife, thanking her for her presence of mind in praying to Krishna. They discussed the incident among themselves. This incident seemed to have been arranged by the Kauravas. Fortunately, Krishna was always there to save them, no matter what danger they faced. Thinking of their dear friend from Dwaraka, the Pandava brothers entered their thatched cottages and rested for the night. The previous incident, which Durvasa recalled because he had upset another devotee of the Lord, is found in Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sadhavo hridayam mayam, sadhunam hridayam tu aham, mad anyate na jananti, nahang tebyo manag api. O Durvasa, you should know that saints are my heart, and I only am in their hearts. They do not know anyone but me, and therefore I do not recognize anyone besides my devotees as being mine. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam in connection with a misunderstanding between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarish. As a result of this misunderstanding, Durvasa Muni tried to kill the king. When the Sudarshana Chakra, the celebrated weapon of Godhead, appeared on the scene for the devoted king's protection. And when the Sudarshana Chakra attacked Durvasa, he fled in fear of the weapon and sought shelter from all the great demigods in heaven. But not one of them was able to protect Durvasa, and therefore the Muni prayed to Lord Vishnu for forgiveness. Lord Vishnu advised him, however, that if he wanted forgiveness, he had to get it from Ambarish, not from him. In this context, Lord Vishnu spoke this verse. The Lord, being full and free from all problems, can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. The Lord's concern is how to elevate and protect all of those who have taken shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. And the same responsibility is also entrusted to the spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always mindful of the devotees who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Yan nama shruti matrena puman bhavati nirmalaha tasya tirtha padakim va dasanam avashishyate. A man becomes purified simply by hearing the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet create the holy places of pilgrimage. Therefore, what remains to be obtained by those who have become his servants? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. This is a quotation from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and is an admission by the great sage Durvasa Muni. Durvasa, a caste Brahmana and a great yogi, used to hate Maharaj Ambarish. When he decided to chastise Ambarish through his yogic powers, Durvasa was then chased by Krishna's Sudarshana Chakra. When things were finally settled up, Durvasa said, "O Lord, when your holy name is heard by any person, that person is immediately sanctified. The Supreme Lord is master of his devotees, and the devotees, under his shelter, naturally come to own his opulences." However, Durvasa Muni gave a benediction to Srimati Radharani that whatever she cooked would be sweeter than nectar. And that is the special feature of her cooking. Radharani fully satisfied Durvasa when she had to serve him.
Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Ahlad Adayane, Prahlad Ahlad Adayane, Prahlad Ahlad Adayane, Prahlad Ahlad Adayane. Kashi Poda Vaksha, Hiranya Kashi Poda Vaksha, Hiranya Kashi Poda Vaksha, Hiranya Kashi Poda Vaksha. Shilatang Kanakalai, Shilatang Kanakalai, Shilatang Kanakalai, Shilatang Kanakalai. Ito Nrsinga Parato Nrsinho, Nrsinga Parato Nrsinho, Nrsinga Parato Nrsinho, Nrsinga Parato Nrsinho. Yato Yamitato Nrsinga, Yato Yamitato, Yato Yamitato Nrsinga, Yato Yamitato Nrsinga, Nrsingo Hridayi Nrsingo, Nrsingo Hridayi Mahi, Nrsingo Hridayi Nrsingo, Nrsingo Hridayi Nrsingo. Ading Sharanang Prabhati Nrsingham, Ading Sharanang Nrsingham, Ading Sharanang Prabhati Nrsingham, Ading Sharanang Prabhati. Avakara Kamalava